The cold Hungarian wind howled through the jagged peaks surrounding Széta Castle, a fortress of stone and shadow perched atop a lonely hill. Within its towering walls, a darkness festered, one that would stain history with blood and terror. The name Elizabeth Báthory would be whispered for centuries, not as a noblewoman of great power, but as a creature of unspeakable cruelty, a woman whose obsession with beauty led her down a path of murder and madness. The rise of the Countess. Born in 1560 to one of Hungary's most powerful families, Elizabeth Báthory was raised in a world of privilege and power. From a young age, she exhibited an intelligence beyond her years, mastering multiple languages and becoming well-versed in politics. However, whispers among the servants hinted at something darker in her bloodline, a violent temper, a fascination with pain. At 15, she was wed to Ferenc Nádasdy, a ruthless warrior known as the Black Knight of Hungary. Their union was one of strategy rather than love, merging two great dynasties into an unstoppable force. While Ferenc waged war against the Ottomans, Elizabeth ruled their vast estates with an iron grip. It was during these lonely years of isolation that the seeds of her sinister legacy began to take root. The first taste of blood. The turning point came in the dead of winter. A young servant girl, trembling from the cold, fumbled while dressing the Countess's hair. Enraged, Elizabeth struck her across the face, sending a spray of blood onto her own skin. As she wiped it away, she imagined that the spot where the blood had touched looked younger, smoother. It was a thought that nestled deep in her mind, taking root like a parasite. Soon after, Elizabeth sought out a trusted confidant, Anna Darvulia, a woman rumored to practice dark magic. Anna whispered of an ancient secret, the rejuvenating power of human blood. Elizabeth, desperate to maintain her youth and beauty, listened with wide-eyed fascination. The first victims were peasant girls, lured to the castle under the promise of work, but once inside, they never left. Elizabeth and her most loyal servants, Dorothea Sentes, Ilona Jo, and Katarina Benica, began conducting experiments. Some girls were drained slowly, their blood collected into silver basins. Others were subjected to unspeakable tortures, their pain believed to enhance the potency of their essence. The House of Nightmares. The chambers beneath Széta Castle became a labyrinth of horror. Blood-streaked walls, rusted chains, the lingering scent of death. It was said that Elizabeth bathed in the blood of virgins, immersing herself in their crimson essence in a desperate attempt to cheat time. Whether the rumors were true or exaggerated, one thing was certain: the death toll rose with each passing season. Soon, the disappearances became impossible to ignore. Villagers murmured about the unholy screams that echoed from the castle at night, about the eerie glow that sometimes flickered behind its high windows. Even the nobility grew wary, for their daughters, too, began vanishing. Elizabeth had grown reckless, no longer satisfied with common blood. She set her sights on girls of noble birth, believing their blood to be purer, stronger. The fall of the Blood Countess. As fear spread, so did whispers of an investigation. King Matthias II, hearing of the horrors surrounding Széta Castle, dispatched György Thurzo, the Palatine of Hungary, to uncover the truth. What he found defied reason. On a cold December night in 1610, Thurzo and his men stormed the castle. What they witnessed would be etched into their minds forever. Blood pooled in the dungeons, bodies lay discarded like broken dolls, and a few young girls, barely alive, were found shackled, their bodies bearing wounds too terrible to describe. Elizabeth herself was caught in the act, her hands still slick with crimson. Yet, despite the overwhelming evidence, her noble status spared her from execution. Instead, she was sentenced to a fate arguably worse than death. Walled up within her own castle, her only connection to the outside world, a small slit through which food and water were passed, Elizabeth Báthory was left to rot in isolation. For 4 years, she remained a prisoner within her own fortress. On August 21, 1614, a guard peered through the small opening to find her lifeless body sprawled upon the cold stone floor. The Blood Countess was dead, but her legend was only beginning. The legacy of terror. The truth of Elizabeth Báthory's reign remains a subject of debate. Was she truly a monster, or was she the victim of a political conspiracy? Some historians argue that her crimes were exaggerated, that her downfall was orchestrated by powerful men who sought to claim her lands. Others believe that the sheer volume of testimonies, the sheer horror of what was discovered within Shate Castle, cannot be dismissed. Regardless of the truth, her name has become synonymous with blood and terror. Some say her ghost still lingers in the ruins of her once mighty fortress, forever searching for another drop of youth, forever cursed to relive the horrors she inflicted. For centuries, storytellers have woven her tale into legend. The Blood Countess, the vampire of Hungary, the woman who bathed in blood. Her story endures, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can fester within the human soul.